Welcome back, space explorers, to another mind-boggling journey through the cosmos. Today, we're zeroing in on a familiar territory. Our home, the Earth. But be warned, things are sizzling, and it's not the good kind of sizzle you get from a beach barbecue. Imagine for a moment that our planet is a patient, and she's come down with a fever. Not just any fever, mind you, but a persistent, escalating fever that's causing her to sweat profusely. A condition we've come to know as global heating. And just like a fever isn't the disease but a symptom of an underlying issue, global heating isn't the problem, it's the alarm bell. Now, what's cranking up the heat? The culprit is a cocktail of greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, to name a few. When we burn fossil fuels for energy, we release these gases into the atmosphere. They form a sort of thermal blanket around the Earth, trapping heat that would otherwise escape into space. Think of it this way: if the Earth was a car, and greenhouse gases were its windows, we'd be stuck in a rapidly heating vehicle with no way to roll down the windows. And just like a car left in the sun, our planet is starting to overheat. Our activities are also fanning the flames. Deforestation, agriculture, and industrial processes are all releasing more greenhouse gases, thickening the thermal blanket, and driving the temperature up. So, here we are, on a feverish planet that's getting hotter by the minute. And Earth's not just hot under the collar for no reason. She's sending us a clear message, a distress signal if you will. Earth's like, hey, could someone turn down the thermostat? It's getting toasty down here. And it's about time we listened, don't you think? After all, no one likes a fever, and our planet is no exception. Stay tuned as we explore the symptoms of this heat and, more importantly, what we can do to break the fever and restore Earth's health. But it's not just Earth feeling the heat. Our planet's fever is causing some serious symptoms that are hard to ignore. Let's start with the icy ends of our world. In the Arctic and Antarctic, glaciers are melting at an alarming rate. This isn't just bad news for polar bears and penguins. As these massive ice structures dissolve into the ocean, they cause sea levels to rise. And we're not talking about a small increase. Some projections suggest that by the end of this century, sea levels could be up to 2 feet higher than they are today. This might not sound like much, but consider this. Many of the world's largest cities are at or near sea level. A rise of 2 feet could put vast areas of these cities underwater, displacing millions of people. But the symptoms of Earth's fever don't stop there. Our planet is also experiencing more frequent and intense weather events. We're talking about hurricanes that are larger and more powerful than ever before, heat waves that shatter temperature records, and droughts that last for years. These extreme events can cause immense damage, costing lives, homes, and billions of dollars. The picture I'm painting here is a grim one, I know. It's as if our planet is going through a sort of menopause. But unlike the natural and temporary change that happens in the human body, this fever isn't something Earth will just get over. We're pushing our planet into an extreme state that it's never experienced before. And just like menopause can cause mood swings, Earth's fever is causing climate swings. Places that were once wet are becoming dry, and places that were cool are becoming hot. These shifts can disrupt ecosystems, harm wildlife, and even change the places where we can grow our food. It's like Earth is going through menopause, and it's not a pretty sight. But remember, we're not helpless in the face of these changes. There are actions we can take to reduce the fever and restore the balance. But we'll get to that in the next scene. So, what can we do to cool things down? Well, the answer lies in the choices we make every day. Just as our actions have contributed to the heating of our planet, they can also help cool it down. Let's start with our energy consumption. By choosing clean energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power, we can reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, the primary culprits behind the release of greenhouse gases. These renewable resources are like a refreshing drink of water for our feverish planet, providing the energy we need without the heat-trapping side effects. Next, consider how we move around. Every time we choose to walk, cycle, or take public transportation instead of driving, we're helping to cut down on carbon emissions. It's like giving Earth a much-needed ice pack, soothing the heat caused by our exhaust fumes. And for those times when driving is necessary, fuel-efficient and electric vehicles are ways to keep our planet cool. And how about our diets? Did you know that by eating more plant-based foods, we can help reduce the demand for livestock farming, a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions? It's as if we're giving Earth a gentle, cooling breeze every time we opt for a veggie burger over a beef one. But remember, these actions aren't just about cooling down the planet, they're about creating a healthier, more sustainable way of life for all of us. They're about ensuring that our children and their children can enjoy the beauty and wonder of our world without the threat of a feverish Earth. So let's make the choice to turn down the heat. Let's choose clean energy, choose sustainable transportation, and choose plant-based foods. Together we can make a difference. We can reduce our carbon footprint and help our planet recover from its fever. It's time to give Earth a break and let it cool off. Because a cooler Earth isn't just a healthier Earth, it's a brighter future for us all. The clock is ticking, folks. Picture this. The Earth's fever is rising inch by inch, degree by degree. Now imagine the thermometer bursting, the mercury spilling out. That's the kind of urgency we're dealing with when it comes to global heating. It's not a distant threat looming on the horizon, it's a crisis at our doorstep. Every moment we delay, every second we shrug off the issue, we're adding fuel to the fire. And let's be clear, this fire is not a cozy campfire. It's a raging inferno that threatens to consume everything we hold dear, our cities, our forests, our wildlife, and our future. If we continue to ignore the warning signs, we're not just turning a blind eye to a problem. We're turning our backs on our home, the only one we've got. It's like watching your house burn down and saying, "Oh, I'll deal with that later." There is no later in this scenario. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, but the reality is sobering. We're on the edge of a precipice, and the next step could be a long fall. We're talking about more intense heat waves, longer droughts, more devastating wildfires, and rising sea levels that could flood coastal cities. But here's the good news. We still have time to turn things around. We have the knowledge, the tools, and the resources to fight this fever. What we need now is the will to act, the courage to challenge the status quo, and the determination to make a difference. We can't afford to wait for someone else to solve this problem for us. It's up to each and every one of us to do our part. Remember, small actions, when multiplied by billions, can transform the world. If we don't take action now, Earth's fever could spiral out of control, with disastrous consequences for all of us. So let's join forces, space explorers, and be the change our planet needs. We're all passengers on this beautiful blue marble spinning through the vast cosmos, and it's our shared responsibility to look after it. You see, global heating isn't just about numbers on a thermometer or abstract scientific theories. It's about the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, and the world we leave for our children and grandchildren. It's about the survival of countless species that share this planet with us, and most importantly, it's about our collective future. But here's the good news, we have the power to make a difference. Every one of us can contribute to the solution, no matter how small our actions may seem. Maybe you'll choose to ride a bike instead of driving a car. Or you'll decide to use renewable energy to power your home. Perhaps you'll plant a tree, or you'll start a conversation about climate change with your friends and family. And each action, each decision, each conversation, they all add up. They're all pieces of the puzzle, forming a grand mosaic of change, and when we all come together, when we all do our part, we can create a wave of change that's greater than the sum of its parts. We're not just fighting for a cooler Earth, we're also fighting for a world that's more sustainable, more equitable, and more resilient. We're fighting for a world where every life matters, where every voice is heard, where every action counts. So, let's roll up our sleeves and get to work, space explorers. Let's make every day Earth Day. Let's foster a sense of unity, of shared purpose, of shared responsibility. Let's show our love for this incredible planet by taking care of it, by cherishing it, by safeguarding it for the generations to come. Together, we can turn down the heat and ensure a cooler, brighter future for Earth and all its inhabitants.